happened, I was not as articulate as I would have hoped to be.
Yeah.
The purpose of reading this letter
Yes.
was simply to deal. It was at the broad level.
I think we are past that stage. I think I remember him in so many words saying that he understood what I was conveying.
Then if he understood, it takes care of my issue, because yesterday, the bulk of the issue, I think, the engagement with Mr. Matlala was in regard to the criminal case, another matter in here, for which I think Ms. Cordelia, I forget her surname, I apologize, has provided
an
affidavit, and those are investigations by IPID. So these are different investigations that I am referring to. And the point I seek to make to the is that you are not, contrary to the position you are.
Nothing.
Chairperson, I promise to look and see and watch her light until it goes off, so as to not create the impression I'm trying to interrupt her, because that was not what I was doing.
Thank
I got
you.
the impression she was finished. First of all, this letter was in response...
Do you still want to address this? Because after my engagement with Mr. Law, I think this is done and dusted.
No.
But let me hear you.
There's three issues I'd like to raise. First of all, this letter request, and the request related to the statement that was made by with the statement that was made in May of 2025. That statement, we want to make that clear. Maybe if my learned friend had the preceding letter, she would have understood.
May I ask to say something, please? To delay.
Yesterday, and I actually tried to see if the transcript was uploaded yesterday. What I've noticed, and what is patently clear from the answer or from the affidavit, the supplementary deposed to by Mr. And the only question that I'm seeking clarification from you on at this point in time is if it is the Commission's stance that the only rights under the 1947 Act that Mr. the right against self-incrimination, that he has no constitutional rights before you, and that he cannot claim any of those constitutional rights at this point in time. As he set out in the affidavit, where he specifies those rights that he seeks, is extremely limited. We now have a constitution that goes far beyond that, and that is the rights that he seeks to enforce before you. Thank you, Chair.
Ms. Hassim? I'm directing myself to her because
Indeed, Chair.
she was to have argued these issues. Thank you.
Chair, first of all, I'm surprised that my learned friend is raising this now.
Yeah.
We've moved past
in fact, I wanted to say, but I just wanted to give you an opportunity. I wanted to say to Ms. van den Heever, raise your issue in relation to a specific question that has been put to Mr. Matlala, and let us see how the right you have, the constitutional right you have in mind arises.
And for me, because I didn't know whether we're reopening the application that was brought, but I think it has since been resolved. So that is how I deal with the recordings in the manner suggested by the chair. I have read that informs the Commission that Mr. Matlala is a suspect in any ongoing investigations on matters arising from the recording, and I'll leave it there. Moving on then, Mr. Matlala, I would like to refer you to your supplementary statement at page 18. You recall yesterday when we engaged regarding your relationship with Mr. Hangwani Morgan Maumela and Mr. Suleiman Karim, you provided a joint response at page 18, paragraphs 93 and 94. Yes. You recall that, yes. And we had a discussion about your paragraph 93, wherein you advised that your legal team was in the process of collating, it was subsequently corrected, documents that will prove that you are a suspect in matters right there.
Yes, I do.
And to this end, there was a discussion around a quote-unquote SIU document, which, if you heard the chair, we resolved that it shall be made available to the document that is sought to be relied upon shall be made available to the commission.
Okay.
You recall that. And I confirm it has since been made available. Commissioners, the document made available to us is now CJC 433. No, 443. Dyslexic moment there. In file 11. As this quote-unquote SIU document appears to be the special tribunal, the SIU, it's an ex parte application for a specific order, and it's brought by the Special Investigating Unit and lists 78 respondents. My reading of this order is that it quotes as a second respondent MHR Maumela Family Trust. It cites as a third respondent Mr. Hangwani Morgan Maumela NO, and then it cites him in his personal capacity. Do you confirm that you are not typed page 4 of that? You'll see that this is an one separate civil, and then 2.2, it interdicts and restrains otherwise disposing of the vehicles. And 2.3, it orders the transfer of possession, custody and control of the vehicles to the curator bonies. Of the same order, at page 9, once again it specifies that the second, third, fourth and fifth respondents are restrained from alienating or selling fixed property, immovable properties. Then it deals with the powers of the curator bonies. And at paragraph 2.13 of that order, that would be at your page 15, at the bottom, it reads, the implicated respondents and all of the other 39 entities and their respective directors, members, trustees mentioned in Annexure A, herein collectively referred to as the syndicate or the Maumela syndicate, are directed to make a full and frank written disclosure. Then it lists of movable, immovable, corporeal, incorporeal assets, and all funds standing to their credit. And if we stay with that document and we try and find Annexure A, that Annexure A will be a document immediately at the end of that order. At page 20, and it's a list of 39, and I see at item 36, the entity referenced is Black AK Trading Suppliers, and it lists the director as your, what the court, I don't know where they got the phrase, but termed the Maumela syndicate, and from whom the court requires them to make a full and honest disclosure regarding funds standing to their credit, in respect of which the respondents of which you are not, or any of them, have a beneficial ownership. So there's specific declarations that the entities are.
All these entities and their directors are under investigation.
Which entities? The entities.
Who they want us to, and our bank accounts or
Paragraph 2.13 tells you why the court is interested in those entities. It specifically says those entities must make full and frank disclosure under oath of all assets and all funds standing to their credit, in respect of which the respondents in this matter or any of them are the registered or common law owners, have a beneficial ownership, right, title, and interest, or some other type of real right therein, in terms identical to those set out in the draft disclosure affidavit. So the court tells you what the interest in those companies themselves are under investigation by anybody, surely.
I hear you, Commissioner, but I think last time when you said you can extract from newspaper articles or whatever, and I've been mentioning so many articles that I've been from SIU and being investigated. So I do not know now, because it does. Would it also apply to me that from that article that I guess?
What article? Perhaps can you guide me?
I'm not in position of a cell phone now that I can just check one for you now. That anything that has to do with Tembisa Hospital, I am under investigation.
Okay, so do I understand you correctly that because an article suggested you are under investigation, therefore you are under investigation and are not able to talk about the matters the article suggests you are being investigated for?
Under investigation, or else they wouldn't serve this to me. But besides this, quite a number of articles that I know that I've been approached by an investigator saying that I'm under. I won't lie to you.
Okay.
Yes, I was never approached, but I just know that I am under investigation, which it might be true, it might not. I don't know that.
And precisely, I guess, because it might be true, it might not. You know, articles are known to confirm to you personally that you are under investigation.
Yes, but we are using the same articles to claim that I am under investigation. The same way as you yourself, you're saying you can use articles as evidence in this commission. So I'm using the same articles as well.
Mr. Isn't this issue resolved? Mr. Matlala says he has never been approached.
Indeed.
That he's under investigation. Yes. That puts the issue to rest, I guess.
I would avoid responding to the question relating to Mr. Maumela and Mr. Kasim. Kasim, yes. Karim Suleiman, my apologies. It's been a long week already. I apologize. I'll try that again. You introduced this document in dealing with your failure to deal with your relationship with Mr. Maumela and Mr. Suleiman Karim. And you suggested in paragraph 93 that those documents will demonstrate, putting to you that this document has got no bearing on you as a suspect and does not suggest that you are a suspect in anything.
Okay, Commissioner, so we're saying I'm not a suspect?
No, I'm saying this document, contrary to what you suggested, does not suggest you are a suspect.
I take it.
Okay.
So I just want to understand that does this mean that I'm not a suspect in any of the SIU?
I don't know. I don't know.
Exactly.
Yes.
So I do not want to engage in something that I do not know also.
No. What we are dealing with is a firm claim you made at 93, and I'm saying the document you put forward does not support that. Having done that, I'm going to invite you to then, as the Regulation 10.6 notice required of you, to speak of your relationship with Mr. Maumela on the one hand, Mr. Karim on the other hand, or collect both, if that is how it is.
Even though I might be a suspect?
In what?
Matlala, you've accepted that you haven't been interviewed or told that you're a suspect in arising from these documents that you were relying on. You may well be a suspect in other matters, but right now the discussion is you answered at paragraph 93 that there are to Ms. Sello that on this document at least, the one that you were relying on, told you that you are a suspect in these matters. I think it is fair that you should be then now required to answer now that we have established on the document that you relied on that you are in fact not a suspect, that questions that come from or relating to the 10-6 should be answered about your relationship with Mr. Maumela.
Annexure A, Mr. Matlala, when you were first here, the Commission asked you about companies that you own or have interest in, and you only mentioned 3. But now in item 37 and 38 of Annexure A, there are 2 other companies that you did not mention. And I had this engagement with you. You mentioned Medicare 2024, you mentioned CAT VIP, the security company, and then you mentioned Black AK Trading. Because this judgment or this order of the tribunal is dated 25 September 2025, and it suggests to me that they still existed in September 2025.
Yeah, but with a quick search, we can verify that those companies are being registered, Commissioner.
All right, thank you.
May I, Mr. Matlala, with regard to the point that your entities are listed in to page 16, the tribunal's order, you still have it close by?
From 2.13, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Perhaps instead of going
page
straight,
15.
And all of the other 39 entities and their respective directors, members, trustees mentioned in Annexure A are directed to make a full and frank written disclosure under oath of all the property and or assets and of all funds standing to their credit. Now, here's what I want to engage you on. In respect of which the implicated respondents, so even those, and it includes interest, may be in your entities, for example. That is how I read this. And it does not translate to you being investigated. So it's still about the respondents. The focus is only on what interest they may have in other people's entities. Do you see what I mean? This is just to reinforce the point made by Commissioner Baloyi, which is that nothing here suggests that you yourself are being investigated.
Regulation 10.6 is the first document in your main statement file. And you recall that as we did...
So, and you can also...
Interest.
So, and you can also...
Interest. I've not read what this is about, but I'll just assume that the tribunal. Tribunal would be Commissioner Baloyi's company. Then Commissioner Baloyi's...
I can suggest, I see it's almost 10 o'clock.